Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Hydro. I wanted to do a quick-ish video for you guys, and I'm not going to edit it or anything. I'm just going to give it to you as is to save time, because usually when I edit my videos and it renders, it takes forever. And I haven't done a video in a while, and I got a couple of things that I got that I want to, kind of review for you guys, or at least give some impressions of. So, here we go. So, over the last week, a couple of times I've visited this little kiosk at the shops in Chino Hills, California, called King Vapes. And it's run by some young guys. I bought some other stuff before that I think I've reviewed, and finally stepped it up to a mod. So this one is a, not exactly sure who makes it, it just says King on the back here. So it's the King mod. It's got a lion in the front, so I call it the Lion King mod. I also bought this iClear30. So we're going to talk about this stuff just a little bit. So I'm just going to take this off and just kind of give you the rundown of the mod. This is a mechanical mod, which is exactly what I wanted. The other one's really cool. They have like an ohm checker, and you can adjust the voltage and wattage and all that kind of stuff. But they tend to be a little bit more on the expensive side, and I don't really know that I need all of that. So this is what it looks like. So this is what the top fit looks like. It doesn't have the ego threading, so you're not going to be able to put a clearomizer on here. It seems like it's pretty much just made for like tanks and things like that. So you've got the center pin down there, and you can take the top off, and you have this screw right here, and you can screw that up or down to make better connection with the battery. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, I think that actually moves the center pin also. I could be wrong about that, but I find that I have to really get that screw really loose to not get any wobbling in here. So right now it's pretty solid in there. There's no the battery's not loose or anything, so which is nice. This is the fire button right here. Real easy to use. It's really it's not loose. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that, but it's really easy to push. So once you screw it all the way in, you'll be able to fire it. Screw it out a little bit, and it won't fire. So pretty standard for a mechanical mod. And this piece does come off, and you can take the battery out that way too. And then it's got their little logo on the bottom, so it's got a lot going on here. There's a definite weight to it. It's really heavy. So this is one of those things where I probably wouldn't be taking it out of the house. I'm just going to use it to vape at the house. There's no adjustable voltage or anything on these, so it really is dependent on the battery. And the battery that I have is a 3.7 volts. So, right off the charger, theoretically, I should be getting 3.7 volts. Now, I don't know exactly how that works in terms of if the battery kind of when the battery is half used, if it's going to go down in voltage or if it's going to stay at 3.7 volts until the whole thing is just dead. Not exactly sure how that works, but it's a 2000 mAh battery, so it is going to last me for a while. So that's pretty much it on the mechanical. I mean, it's pretty standard stuff, and this was $50. So which is just about where I wanted to spend, and this is the kind of mod that I wanted. So I feel like I got a pretty good deal. I also bought this this guy right here. This is the Nimbus clone. So this is a rebuildable atomizer, my first one. This is what it looks like. You got 3 posts here, and that's what I'm going to build the coil around. So I have yet to get the materials for that. I'm going to be buying some this week, and then try my hand at doing the rebuildable thing. A little exciting, but at the same time a little a little daunting, to say the least, because it's it's a skill that takes a while to craft, and I figure my first ones are going to be really, really terrible. So we'll see, but you never know. I might build my first one. It might be amazing. So we shall see. So because I didn't have any wicks or wire or anything like that to build a coil on, I wanted to use something on my new mod. And sorry, the tanks that I have are okay, but I found that they didn't really, I've had them for a while. They're not really working so great, and it was, not, to me, in my opinion, not really worth buying some extra, extra heads and stuff for them. So I went over and thought maybe I will just buy a decent Cardo tank, because I do want to try those out too. And instead, I saw that they had the iClear30, which I've been wanting to try for a really long time because, or well, not a really long time, but since I've been seeing reviews on it, and the reviews have all been really, really good. So I thought, perfect, it's $16, and I've heard nothing but good things, and so I thought I'd give it a try. So this does have the mouthpiece is adjustable. You can move it around, which is kind of cool. To fill it, you unscrew this, and then you just fill it just down the side. Definitely don't want to do it right down the middle, because that's gonna be a problem. It's got crazy amount of wicks. I mean, it looks like an octopus or something. You've got wicks coming out of 4 sides, and there's quite a few of them. So I wasn't really sure about that. The top wicking tanks are not my favorite, but all the reviews on this one said that it works really, really well, and that they were really impressed with how well it wicks up and all that good stuff. So, so what I did is I filled it up with some of the ECG fruit punch e-liquid, and I did add a small amount of vegetable glycerin to it, just to kind of punch up the vapor production a little bit. I'd used some of this, so I just wanted to fill up the bottle the rest of the way. And so just kind of take note of that. One thing that is kind of a bummer is when you put this on, it's not totally flush with the with the top of the mod. Not a huge deal, but it would just be cool if it sat flush. I did play around with the screw a little bit just to see if I could maybe screw it down a little bit more, so this will go down a little bit more. So, but that's about as far as it would go. So not a huge deal, but it is what it is, right? So. But let's check it out. Let's check out how it works. So, the draw on this is really, really smooth, which is really nice. That I wasn't really expecting so much, but the draw on it's just really, really nice. I don't know if that's because of the wick system or what, but it's just a really smooth draw. Not airy, but not too airy, if that makes sense. Still feel like I'm getting a good throat hit. It takes a few seconds to actually kick in with the throat hit, but it's that's going to be more so dependent on the e-juice though. This e-juice doesn't have a whole lot of punch to it necessarily, so that's why the throat hit's taking a little bit longer to get there. I will say that yesterday, or late last night, when I got it and I kind of filled it up and I was just kind of playing around with it, just get a feel of it, so I didn't just go in, come into this thing just with absolutely no knowledge of it whatsoever. I was getting a little bit of gurgling, and I'm not exactly sure why that is, because I didn't fill it all the way up, but I'm not getting that now, so maybe that was just a temporary thing, but I feel like I should say that I was getting a little bit of gurgling, which was, worrying me. I'm like, oh, I really wanted this tank to be great, but let's give it another go here. So yeah, it works really, really well. I think I was expecting a little bit more of like this epic vapor production, based on what I'd seen other reviewers. Or other reviews, I should say. But again, that's going to depend on the e-liquid that's in there. So just as far as performance goes, it's performing really well so far. 2 weeks in, it might be a different story, but for right now, I think that I'm very happy with this purchase. I mean, I was excited to get it, and I'm glad that I have it, because I feel like this tank is better than all the other tanks that I have at this point. I think that I think it's better than the Pro tank, which I'm getting constant gurgling from, which is really sad. It's better than all of the other ones that I have. It's it's a little bit better than some of the better clearizers that I have, which is nice. I expect it to be a lot better than some of the clearizers that I have, but I feel like it's a little better. And some of the clearizers that I have, I spent like $10-12 on, so I feel like I should have just paid the extra money and got one of these just from the start. So, although those won't fit on here anyway. You could use this with an Ego battery, obviously, but for me, I think that was a big reason why I got this mod, is so I could use the better tanks on them and maybe get better performance. So, all in all, I think I picked up some pretty decent stuff. As far as the mod goes, this is one of those things where everybody's like, you gotta get a mod, you gotta get a mod, and I finally got a mod, and I'm kind of like, I feel like the only reason for me to get a mod is so that my tanks look better on something. As far as just putting out 3.7 volts, I mean, I could get that on my Ego Twist. I could use this tank on my Ego Twist. I might even be able to use I could probably use the Nimbus on like the Ego Twist as well, but none of it looks as nice, So, at the end of the day, as far as anybody out there thinking, should you get a mod? That really depends. They're not cheap. And, unless you go through like Fast Tech or something like that, and you can get them dirt cheap. But then you also have to buy batteries, you have to buy a battery charger, and all that jazz. So, I mean, it's not putting out any more power than I could get off of several other things that I have. So it will have a longer battery life because you're putting bigger batteries in there, but, for me, it's like Ego's going to last me a couple of days, so do you even really need that? Like I said, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's more about the tanks that go on it and the ability to use better tanks on a device. This thing is really heavy. And like I said, not something I would take out of the house probably, but I do like the way it looks. It's very sturdy. It feels like it's very, very good quality, so that I am happy with. So, if you're thinking whether or not you should buy a mod, you just got to ask yourself those kinds of questions. Is longer battery life, durability, and just tanks looking better on your device enough for you to go out and buy a mod? If you're totally fine with a atomizer on an Ego battery, then there's absolutely no reason for you to buy something like this, especially when you can use this on an Ego battery. For me, I just wanted the ability to use better tanks and kind of get into that, and kind of get away from like this the cigarette style batteries and the Ego batteries and things of that nature that just when you put something like this on an Ego battery, come on, let's face it, a lot of times it looks stupid. The only thing that really looks good on an Ego battery is an EVOD or some other kind of atomizer like that. The tanks don't usually look as good. So anyway, that's that. All in all, I feel like I got some pretty good deals from King Vapes in Chino Hills, California. If you're in the area, go check them out. They're getting better and better stuff. But yeah, that's my impressions and sort of review on the iClear30 and the Lion King mod, and like I said, on the Nimbus clone, I will be trying my hand at building coils and stuff. So maybe I'll do some videos on me trying to do that, because that can be pretty entertaining. So anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.